Welcome to Dynasty Warriors 4 Empires Part 3. Today we'll be going to Cheng, and we will defeat Sun Quan. Now, the reason why we want to defeat this guy, I mean, you barely glanced at it, but look at my troop count. We just got out of a defense with this guy. Secondly, if we take Chengdu, we'll be able to take the Nanman Territories. And thirdly, I'm not helping anybody else take the Nanman Territories because once the alliance is over, they'll have elephant harnesses. And if I'm not mistaken, the Nanman Territories also has a mace smith. Now, I'm going to be talking about the smiths as soon as I start the battle, as well as the weapon types today. It's probably going to be just short information, but I might as well talk about it right now. Anyway, there are 3 types of weapons in this game: sword, club, and pike. The swords is obviously all the swords in the game. The pikes consist of spears, blades, halberds, and glaives. And the specials all fall into the category of club. Now, there are like 6 types of smiths. No, 7 actually, because I happened to get weaponsmith in part 1 when I first claimed my first territory. Weaponsmiths put a +1 to all type of weapons. However, there are certain types of smiths that actually add either +1 or +2 to the weapons. Like for instance, bladesmiths add +1 to all swords, and at the same time, swordsmiths add +2 to them. Spearsmiths add +1 to all weapons, and at the same time, pikesmiths add +2 to all spear weapons. I meant to say all spear weapons when I said spearsmiths, sorry. Anyway, clubsmiths add +1 to all special weapons and clubs, and macesmith adds +2 to all special weapons and clubs. Why is all this important, you ask? The goals of the officers, or their prerequisites, if you will. Some officers, if not most, have one of their goals as their level, weapon level basically, being at a certain level. Like for instance, some of my officers require their weapon to be at level 3. And I think I have a few that requires their weapon level to be at level 6. Or I will end up getting them, I don't know. I know Sauron's weapon level has to be a level 3 in order for him to level up. Now, it may be important for you to up your own weapon, but at the same time, it is important for you to up the weapon of your officers so that they can watch your back and, more importantly, keep things like what just happened from happening. That's pretty much common sense. And also keep things from, like, Yuan Shu being defeated from happening as well. Because, let's face it, you can't help your officers all the time. You're on a time limit and you have to either capture the base or keep your base from being captured. So you don't have time to worry about everyone else, like, talking about it. They need to be strong to fend for themselves.
The enemy is strong.
And that basically does it for my talk about the smiths.
This may be the end.
However, I'm going to talk about another subject, change gears here a little bit, and I will talk about one thing I didn't talk about in Chapter 2, well, Part 2, sorry, the card that's needed to make officers either a Grand Strategist or a Grand General, and that is Promote. As I said, 20 is the magic number for that, but that card has to appear as well, and you have to pay 2,000 gold in order to promote an officer. I may have forgotten to mention that. No, I did forget to mention it actually, but just in case somebody gets angry and tries to look up Wikipedia or GameFAQs or something like that, I'm telling you now, so please don't get angry. Anyway, now, I am, however, going to be talking about some more group of cards, and that is the government cards. I'm gonna sporadically separate them.
I'll pull back for now.
I'm just sporadically separating the cards as much as I can, so I'll have something to talk about throughout the playthrough. Now, the government cards, you have to do at least 10 of these actions in order for the government cards to appear. However, the government cards in this game are much weaker than the government cards in Dynasty Warriors 5 Empires, which is why I decided to go neutral. First of all, we have the good policy cards, which is Survey. Obviously, if you haven't seen my Dynasty Warriors 5 Empires playthrough or my Samurai Warriors 2 playthrough, that's obviously 300 gold in order for you to get the peasants happy. Now, Holiday also appeared in Dynasty Warriors 5 Empires and Samurai Warriors 2 Empires, and oh, there's an elephant. Let's continue talking about the policy cards. Anyway, and that's probably why I'm taking the Nanman Territories. That right there is why I'm taking the Nanman Territories. Anyway, Holiday is a card that will stop production for 1 turn, and that will also increase the happiness of the people. However, that will also delay whatever is being produced, like a weaponsmith or an item. So that can be a pain in the ass, but at the same time, if you're going for the good route, you can use that. Anyway, next up, we have Forced Labor. Forced Labor,
no one will get through here.
Pretty much speeds up the production of all the items that you happen to have among your
fodder.
Uh-oh.
I'll take you on.
Is that Zhang Liao that I just saw? That was Zhang Liao. Put all problems aside on the screen, but Forced Labor is basically like speed up production, except speed up production is just neutral. Forced Labor, if you use that card, you will slowly but surely get into the evil route. But Forced Labor doesn't appear until after you, like, do
now is our chance.
5 or 6 emergency taxes. And if you do emergency taxes, you're going to get a cool 500 gold. Again, I'm going to try to stay neutral because it's... I'm going to ignore that. That was the Skype. Anyway, emergency taxes will basically start getting you to the bad ruler status. It'll give you a cool 500 gold, but at the same time, it'll make you evil. Now, for some of the more powerful ones, even though they're not as powerful as the ones in Dynasty Warriors 5. First of all, conscripts. For 1,500 gold, you will max out all of your... Actually, your troops will get about 2,000 troops instead of being maxed out, which is so much different from the conscripts in Dynasty Warriors 5. And the conscripts in Samurai Warriors 2 Empires, which all that did was you get gold and your smiths will be maxed out, but at the cost of all of your land. Or more like your crops, basically. Next up, Philanthropy, which is a good policy if you happen to be the ultimate good. That means you donate all of your gold. Basically, you donate only 2,000 gold to keep the people happy. And unlike Dynasty Warriors 5 Empires, you don't lose your items. So that's actually one of the good things about this game. The only good thing. And finally, we have Grand Tax. Probably
I seem to have underestimated
one of the most
be careful, you are in danger.
Overpowered cards in this game, but not as overpowered in Dynasty Warriors. Actually, it's not even seen in Dynasty Warriors 5 Empires. This is the only time you can see it. This right here will give you a cool... This could actually give you a maximum... Sorry, I had to think about my thoughts for a second. This actually could give you a maximum of 24,000 gold. I mean, 2,400, sorry. It can give you a maximum of 2,400 gold, considering there's only 24 lands in this game. No, let me rephrase that, 2,300 gold, because once you take the 24th land, the game is over. And that is a lot of land that you're going to have to conquer in order for the gold to come in sporadically. Now, here's the problem.
I can't allow myself to just sit and watch.
The problem with Grand Tax is the fact that it relies on how much land you have. If your lands have been conquered, that will be less gold that you have. So, like I said, it's easier being neutral than what it is being evil or good. I mean, it may sound crazy, but yeah, after the policies I just told you, it's easier being neutral. And besides, I was already good and evil off-screen, getting their good and evil endings. The only endings I didn't get was the neutral ones. So, that's why I'm going for neutral status. Now, we're starting to come near to the end of this part. All we need to do is just take over one last base. And once I take this base over, Chengdu will be mine. You gotta make sure you fight every last officer when it comes down to this type of gameplay. Because they could be hiding behind the bushes, they could be sniping you from a far off distance like the darn archers, and they could probably be wandering off of the base. Even though they're still technically not on the base, they are on the base. They could be miles away from it. So you gotta pay attention to those. And there may be some lieutenant generals, so you gotta keep an eye on those too. Oh, one thing I do like to note, this is, once again, Dynasty Warriors 4. Meaning, the officers in... not the officers, rather the archers, sorry. The archers in this game is just as brutal as they are in Dynasty Warriors 3. So, you gotta be careful with that. And if you happen to have Nanman armor, which is one of another reasons why I wanted to take the Nanman Territories, that will reduce the damage you take from arrows. So not only do you want elephants, you want to take less damage from archers. Because this is the old school. And archers are probably the most dangerous here in this game, as they are in Dynasty Warriors 3 and Extreme Legends. Yeah. I might as well say 3 Extreme Legends, because that's where they're at their most brutal. I'm sorry, but archers can pretty much screw you over. And chances are, if they're joining on a troop, they could take your base. So I might as well warn you about that now. Anyway, that's a lot of subjects I talked about, but nonetheless, I am done and standing tall. Chengdu is mine, which means only one last thing. I can just collect the spoils, and it'll be time for me to call it a game. Oh, and you're wondering why I haven't saved? I think it's pretty obvious. The fact of the matter is you could only save once, and that is during the strategy session. And I'm obviously not going to be showing that. But I am going to be taking this officer. Now, let's hope that that guy didn't take the Nanman Territories. Because I'm still in the line. Ah, you son of a gun. You took the Nanman Territory. Wait, I'm not in an alliance with you. Oh well, but I will be taking the Nanman Territories, though. Ooh, and I leveled up. That just makes it a lot better. And even though he got captured, he leveled up.
Hey, how about we make a deal?
Okay, what deal could he possibly... Oh, yes! Tiger Amulet. I mean, it may be sacrificing a Vorpal Orb, but I need something for attack, so I'm gonna take it. Why not? Come on, past me. Stop thinking about it. Take the amulet. There we go. And that is the end of part 3. Sorry, part 3. So, with that said, this is RVman985. In the next episode, we'll be going for, by far, the worst level in the game, the Nanman Territories. Why is it so horrible? Well, you'll see for yourself. And to those that says that I'm just being a wuss when I talk about the Nanman Territories, no. They are that bad. See you guys next time.